Hey, my name's The4Philzz. I play Street Fighter 5 and I main Falk and Akira currently. I've been playing Street Fighter 5 for since release, so I'd say about 5 years. Been playing competitively for the past 3 years now. The year 2021 was, in my opinion, my best year for my competitive career. I had the best results I've ever had, winning my CPT online for my region, qualifying for Capcom Cup, though it was cancelled, I still did qualify for it. Uh, Winning the qualification for the Global Esports Games, traveled to Singapore for the first time. All of those winnings, that was honestly my best year for Street Fighter 5. And it really showed what I was capable of. Made me more confident as a player. I learned from a lot of things. Just showed me what I'm able to do as a player now, honestly, in this region. And I'm now aware of where I stand in terms of player strength compared to everyone else around me now. Alright, so in Street Fighter 5, I actually started this game as a Ken player. Started off as Ken. I love Ken in Street Fighter 4, though I wasn't good at the game. I saw him in Street Fighter 5, straight away I said, okay, I'm playing Ken. Juri came out, I gave Juri a go, she was really fun as well. Played some Colleen, played some Ed. Who came out after Ed? Played some Abigail for a little bit. And I was mainly sticking to Ken and play as those characters on the side. Now, when Falk came out, the reason I played her was because I don't usually play zoners as an archetype for fighting games. So I said to myself, I want to try out a zoner to see how it feels. Because as a Ken main, I hate fighting characters like Gao and Dal Sim. So I was like, how does it feel to be a zoner for once? So I didn't like any of the zoners in the game. I didn't want to play Gao. I didn't want to play Dal Sim, Fang, any of those. It wasn't really my style. So Falk being a new character, you know, she has no backstory from any other Street Fighter game. She's just a new character. And seeing her trailer, I said, okay, I'm going to really try this character out. She's new, she's fresh, we don't know who she is. Let's give it a go. Her trailer looked cool. I'm going to play Falk. And I really just fell in love with the character. And I think what made me stick with the character is the fact that nobody else gave her a fair shot. When she came out, she wasn't very good in the game. However, at that moment in time of the game, I wasn't yet in my competitive spirit. I was more so, I just want to have fun. I just want to have fun instead of thinking, oh, I just want to win. So I carried on playing the character. She was really fun for me. And yeah, everything just sort of clicked. Right, so as of this season, I think Falk really benefited from other characters getting nerfs. A good example of that would be Urian being nerfed now, and Falk constantly getting buffs as the game's lifespan goes on. She never received any nerfs, so she started off not being very good at all, right? But as the game went on, as the seasons continued, she gradually kept getting buffs and buffs and buffs, and now I feel like she's in a really good spot in the game where she can really express herself and feels like a complete character who fits in with the rest of the cast and can compete at a high level now. I think her matchup spread is pretty good now. So I believe she loses to Dalsim. I always say this is the worst matchup in the game. I'm not joking, by the way, it is. But I feel like her bad matchups have gotten a little bit easier simply because she's kept getting buffed every season. And those buffs are not buffs that don't matter. They're buffs that actually help the character a lot in her hard matchups and give her more opportunities to win. So I do believe she has some hard matchups. Her matchup spread is good. There's some characters she destroys. But the matchup she loses got a little bit better. Simply because she's been buffed a lot. Except Darsim. Well, against Samboy was one of the people. My set against Samboy was... It felt a little bit awkward for me. Simply because Samboy is one of the people that I don't play as much on a regular basis compared to everyone else who was in that bracket. So since I only really run into him usually in another tournament, I didn't really have a game plan except just play the Cody matchup. I didn't have a game plan specifically for Soundboy, so I wasn't too sure about how that was gonna go, and I didn't know what he was gonna bring to the table. At the same time, it is a first to two format in top 16, so you don't have the same amount of time you would have in the first to three to adjust and adapt, and I feel like I didn't have that time, and he bought his A game as well, and I just wasn't ready today. I was very relieved. So my match against Shax was very, very close, and I expected it to be close because me and Shax have been playing on a day-to-day basis leading up until the CPT. We're very close friends. We always play. We talk to each other. We know how each other play. It was always going to be who comes out and who plays the better game on the day. It was never a thing where this player is just better than the other player. You know, we both know our play styles. Whoever brings their best game on the day would win. And it came down to the last conversion, the last hit, and that's really what happened. I'm fairly confident against my matchup against one step player. I'm fairly confident. Liz Karen. I've played against Phenom multiple times. We play battle lounges a lot. I know he's a different style. They don't play the same. However, matchup wise, I'm fairly confident versus Karen, and it is a first to three format tomorrow. So I believe I should be the favorite for that matchup. The way I feel about Aura right now, I think he's a very good character. I think he's pretty underrated in terms of like on a global scale. Over here in EU, we know he's ridiculous. We have Bursky, Cam the Cypher now showing us he can play. You know, we know he's a good character. I feel like on a global scale, he's a little bit overlooked, and I don't know how much people are paying attention to the character. I'm sure they're paying attention to him now, though. How do I feel about playing against Oro if I win my game tomorrow? I feel like that matchup is very awkward. I've been looking at that matchup for a long time, and every time I can't figure out who wins between Falk and Oro. I always come out with the same word, awkward. The matchup feels very awkward. I don't think Oro players are comfortable playing versus Falk, but at the same time, I don't think Falk players are comfortable playing versus Oro. It's very awkward, and scrambles do happen. So on the day, we're going to have to see who's able to keep it together. In my opinion, the UK scene for Street Fighter 5 is incredibly strong. I think sometimes it gets overlooked as a region. It is a very, very strong region. Like, you can easily drown in pools with the caliber of players we have over here. It's not easy at all. I know there's favorites to win tournaments, but as we can see in this CPT, and if you see the state of the top 8 right now, it's not what a lot of people would have expected. But a lot of us in this region, we're not surprised that this has happened because we know the caliber of players that we have over here. We have a lot of players who may not be traveling around, myself included. I haven't been traveling around as much as I could, as I wish I could, but clearly I'm showing that I can play the game, and there's a lot of players that are just like me that are playing the game and just may not have had that spotlight yet, but they're here and they're playing the game and they're very good. We have a lot of talent over here. It's getting a big win under my belt with this character. I feel like I did that last year with my CPT. Unfortunately, Capcom Cup was cancelled, which crushed my dreams, but I feel like I'm satisfied with what I did last year. I'm very happy about that. This year, winning again would be amazing, of course, but you know, it is the last year of Street Fighter 5. If I was to win again, that'll be 2 wins under my belt, whereas I've got 1 win under my belt. Winning this year would be a plus to me. However, you know, I wouldn't feel too bad if I didn't win. However, I'm here competing. Of course, I want to win. I don't want to get second place, third place. That's not what I came here for. But yeah, that's honestly how I feel about it. Right. So, given what happened last year with Capcom Cup being cancelled, if I'm being brutally honest, my motivation levels are very low right now in terms of competing. I've more so been focused on content creation right now. However, I'm a competitive person. When I play games, I want to win. So when I do compete, I'm always going at it, right? The training I was doing last year for CPT, I haven't been doing this year for CPT, simply because it's been very demoralizing coming from qualifying and not being able to play to now having to re-qualify again. You know, playing a character who's also not a top tier character. I'm having to struggle past these matchups and past the best players with these characters who beat my character. It's a real struggle, but I'm trying to push through, and I'm still competing because I know I can win right now. I know I can win again. It wasn't a fluke. I know I can win. However, the motivation levels are not what they once were, unfortunately.